start talking about your adventures in.
All right. Well, this is something. At some point, I knew I was gonna have to talk about it, and I guess fuck it, now's the time, right? So I just got back. I don't know, a few weeks ago from Ecuador, and I was down there because one of my residential program clients, he got married. Basically, he did a program, met a wonderful girl. They got married. The marriage was down there in Ecuador, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna come down and check it out. And it was my second time down there, and I thought, well, I'll stick around. It's peaceful, it's warm, and it's the winter, so I'm just like going down there and chill. So I was down there about 2.5 months. And if people don't know, I'm on the spiritual journey, and I put up a video of my kind of semi-awakening in 2009. I've had some very, very interesting experiences since then. Some of them I haven't actually spoken about, and hopefully I will. But we'll see. But basically. Yeah. I'm not really a big drug guy. I don't really do drugs. I've done some stuff, but nothing really crazy. But I make a real distinction between drugs, like coke, speed, fucking all the shit that's just fun, whatever, and then healing spiritual plant medicines, which have been around literally since the beginning of time, and even time before recorded time, like forever. That actually heal the body, take out negative energies, make you fucking puke, make you realize shit, have visions, all this kind of stuff that native tribes and fucking Egyptians and like cultures going way the fuck back to the beginning have been doing. That's not a drug. Yep. See what I'm saying? To me, that's not a drug. That's a spiritual medicine. It's a spiritual practice. It's not a drug. So people refer to it as a drug. So people will talk about ayahuasca or San Pedro or whatever as a drug. It's not a drug. I don't even know what to call it. But when I was down there, I did some San Pedro. So it's a cactus basically that grows in certain places of the world. So there's a certain way you open it up. You can take it live. You can take it raw. Some people turn it into like a green powder. I'm not an expert or anything, but then there's different ways of ingesting it. So one of my homeboys down there, basically he has access to a granddaddy plant, like a really badass plant. And and he made a bunch of it, and I was waiting to do it. It's almost like I got down there, and my friend who's getting married, he was doing it, but I was really hectic. I had so much to do down there, and I was just like, no, I just can't do it now. I had so much going on with work. I had my ebook launch coming out, and one night in the house I was staying at, people were doing it, and I could have done it, but I was literally in my book launch. I just had so much work to do. People don't realize how much work it is really when you're trying to launch a product or something. It's really, this is why it took me, I should have written it and got it out in like 2010, 2015 it comes out, and I actually felt it, and I'm very, very sensitive to energy and stuff like that. I felt the San Pedro calling me. I'm literally in my room, and I just felt an energy just going, just a peaceful, loving energy just going, come in the room, come over here, it's okay. And I literally was speaking to it going, I know it's okay, I'm going to do it. I can't do it right now. And it's like, come on. And I'm like, no. It was really fun. I was having a conversation. So, and people got to realize that it's a spirit. So, like, if you do ayahuasca, it's the mother. It's a powerful spirit. It's alive. It is part of the universal energy. It's a part of it's a very strong part of it. Just like the planet has a spirit, Mother Nature. The natives are very well aware of this. They communicate with it. They respect it. And San Pedro has its own spirit as well. It has a real energy to it. So it's a consciousness. So I was like, nope. And then I did my launch and did my other stuff, and finally, my chance comes to do it. And I did it with a dude I made friends with while I was down there, who's friends with another friend. And man, it was a life changer. It was really it was really, really, really epic. So I take this stuff, and I told him I had to try and decide like the dose. Like, do I do a small dose, a big dose? And I don't want to be like off my face, not being able to walk and retarded. And I also don't want to be a bitch and take like a small dose and be like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. I want to have an experience. See, I'm not gonna take it around. So I'm like, yeah, give me a strong one, but not like, let's not go crazy. It's like a medium, like a medium dose. Like a good dose. So we had it as a green powder. So we mix it up, and we shoot it down. And didn't taste that bad compared to ayahuasca. Nothing's bad. Like really strong ayahuasca it's brutal. So this was it wasn't pleasant, but it was no biggie. So we shoot it down, and for a while we're just in the house, we're listening to music, and as you start coming up, you really feel like your heart really starts to pound, and you start feeling a lot of energy, but some nausea too. So you really got to breathe through it, right? You got to breathe through it, or you just might fucking puke, right? So I'm breathing through and I'm trying to not puke up, and I was listening to some Bon Jovi song about it's my life and it's now or never. And listening to it on San Pedro, I was just like, fuck, I was getting all emotional and stuff. I was like, yeah, fucking life is awesome. I gotta do more shit. Fuck this, I'm so lucky, this is awesome. And I was just really flipping out, like, this is the greatest song in the world. I wanted to cry and shit. So it was, it was getting interesting. And then we're both fucking getting really ripped, and then we go outside in the backyard and we're talking. And we started just talking about being a man and how we're just finding ourselves, and we're like in our fucking 30s, and we're really figuring out what it means to be a fucking man, because like there's nobody showing us shit about anything. So we're just figuring it out, like what does it really mean, So we're talking about this stuff. And then he's like, and I'm just like, we're both like, let's just go on a fucking hike. Let's go somewhere. And we're in a part where it's really beautiful where we were. It's like mountains, just fucking gorgeous.
So what country were you in?
This is in Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Yeah, a little town in Ecuador. So we walk up. It's basically, the Andes and stuff, just gorgeous. So we're going up to this, maybe it was, I don't know, half an hour, 45-minute walk up. And we're getting ripped off our faces. I'm almost to the point where it's just like, holy shit, I'm so fucking high. And you're feeling so much energy. And basically, this is where shit gets really, really crazy. So it gets to a point where I would touch a tree, right? And I would just like close my eyes, and I could feel so much energy and love and everything coming from the tree and power. It almost knocked me off my fucking feet. You're literally like there was a point where I'm just like, if I stop and touch that tree over there, or this one here, we'll never make it to the top of the hill. I'm just gonna fucking hang around here. You just feel absolute like love all around you, and you realize it's the tree and everything, all living, and you and the sky, and just everything is one. It's all fucking love. It's all, and it's overwhelmingly powerful love that just you cannot fucking imagine the power and the healing and just everything, how fucking epic it is. And it's like, and at one point I literally collapsed. We were walking along, and I went, and there was this beautiful aloe vera plant, and I touched it. And it was healing me. I was just, holy fuck, this plant's trying to heal me. It's so, and I couldn't fight it. I'm just like, I can't fight this anymore. I literally laid down on the floor and just let the power. I just stopped fighting, and I just felt the power of the fucking planet and the plant, everything just flowing through me, like so much power. And I was just laying there, literally just going, fucking shaking around, without any regard to anything, dude. My ass was destroyed with fucking bug bites. The next day was fucking brutal. But I didn't give a fuck. I was off my face, and and you realize the absolute truth that everything is love. Everything is fucking love. There is only love. God is love. We are God. And I'm literally looking at my friend like, dude, I'm fucking God, and you're fucking God. We're all fucking God. This is all just a joke. We're just here fucking around, but we die and we're just God. We just go back and we go. It's all. There's no death whatsoever. I knew. We went up to the top of this thing, and as we're walking, at one point I literally felt such joy and gratitude just for my life and how lucky I was. I dropped to my knees, and I looked up at the sky, and I literally broke down crying, and I was just going, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my life. Thank you, oh God. And I'm just fucking crying. It was just, for the first time in my life, I felt what it was to be grateful. And I can't overemphasize that. People say that a lot, spiritual practice, be grateful, be grateful, I didn't know what that word meant. I didn't even know what that word fucking meant until I collapsed on my knees on San Pedro, thanking God for my life. It was just, I've never felt that kind of pure joy and gratefulness just to be here and be who I am and doing what I'm doing. Holy fuck, dude. It was tears of joy. Tears of fucking joy. And I realized also as I was talking to my buddy, and we're just like, yeah, we're fucking God. I mean, that's all it is. I knew, first of all, that I could jump off that fucking thing and that my physical body would die, but it wouldn't matter. It would not affect who I am. It would not be the end. I'd literally just immediately be one with everything, and then I could reincarnate or do anything I wanted to. I knew that completely. Like it was not jumping out of the thing and dying right there was not a threat to me in any way. It would just be the end of this body. A lot of people will be upset, because it's not my time. I have a lot of work to do. I'm not finished at all. I got tons of shit I need to do here. But it was not threatening to me. And I knew that I could just jump right now. It would be fine. I would be absolutely fine. I'd be taken care of. And it was just that knowing of like, fuck, there's absolutely nothing that can happen to me that's bad. Nothing. It's just impossible. So that was epic. And
that's awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
Just you talking about it, I almost like, just you talking about it, that's all it takes. Is I almost like feel this like almost like love vibration in like my emotions.
Dude, I got that from you the other day when you were talking about similar type of thoughts as well that you had. And when you were talking about, oh yeah, that's right. Maybe you want to talk about it after this, but your MDMA experience, dude. You were talking about that, and I literally just started feeling the love, and the girl next to me. This is at lunch during Pablina's workshop. I was like, come here, give me a hug. It's all love. Give me a hug. And she was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So literally, I got that vibe from you, and then she got it from me. She was like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So literally, just from you talking, I got that, and I passed it on to her, and then she probably would pass it along. So that's what it is, and that's the power we're talking about here. That's when all the greats like Bob Marley and all these dudes are just like, hey, it's all love. That's the truth. That is the ultimate truth. That actually, that is the greatest secret. No one's supposed to know. Everything is love. Ultimately, all vibrational frequency. Everything is love. Everything on the planet is made of love energy. It's just different frequencies. And the goal of the people running the show is to make us not realize that. Make you chase the money. Make you chase the sex, drugs, booze. All this stuff is just there to actually, and all that stuff I'm talking about, like drugs and booze and sex, depending on how conscious you are on sex, but they actually lower your frequency and make you an animal, literally like a normal animal that wants to fuck and drink and eat food and have all these worldly, just normal fucking pleasures. That keeps you in your place. And it's a great way of control, because you think joy and happiness, comes from buying this nice shiny thing, or getting laid, or ejaculation, woo, or getting drunk, or doing some drug. And they want you doing all that stuff. They want you, the government, I'm just going to say the powers that be. I'm not going to make this the conspiracy theory podcast. That's going to be another one, because we don't have time for it. But let's just say the powers that be, they want you fucking, doing drugs, drinking, as well as paying your taxes. Because if you really believe that happiness and joy comes from buying material shit, that's perfect. That's epic for them, because you're just going to stay in this monkey fucking game. You're going to not realize the truth, which is actually joy and happiness and peace and love come from none of the things I've just talked about. None of it. It comes from realizing you and everyone else is coming from the exact same universal energy, God, love, whatever you want to call it, that we're all exactly the same. Everyone on this planet is your brother and sister. Everybody you look at and meet is you. It's just fucking God in a different form. Different color skin, different shape, different size. They might be smarter than you, they might be dumber than you, they might be fatter than you, they might be skinnier than you, they have a completely different story. Whatever. Some of them you like, some of them you don't like. Whatever. It's you. It's you. It's all fucking you. And if people woke up tomorrow and just like, oh, it's all us, we're all God, it's all over. Their game is over. As one of my buddies, Josh said, what if there was a war tomorrow and nobody showed up? You realize you're God, and everybody's fucking God, and we're all one. You're going to pick up a gun and shoot a guy in the face? You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Everyone comes together, everybody feeds each other, everybody takes each other, and everybody treats each other as brother and sister. It's over. Weapons selling, over. Chopping down the Amazon, over. Manipulating other people, having these factories where people are working for whatever fucking $2 a day, breaking their fucking... It's all over. All of it. It ends. And I actually believe that's what's happening right now. It's slow. The powers that be want to they're going to fight it right till the end. They're going to fucking flip out because they don't know what to do. But it's over. People are waking up. I just don't believe this can continue. It's just over. And it's just a matter of how quickly are people going to tune into this frequency, this message of love, just accept that this is reality. We are fucking God. Right now, I'm fucking God. This is God talking, Like when I go up on stage, when the greatest comics or poets or whatever, they go up on stage and they start doing amazing shit and you think that they're geniuses. They're not geniuses. They're channeling God. You're listening to the voice of God right now. Hi, I'm God. I'm speaking to you. Wake the fuck up. The game is over. We're all one. Yeah. That's what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. So you can either suffer and play this fucking game and try and get the money and the better job and all this fucking shit. You can go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until you're old and fucking bitter, or drop it all right now, because it doesn't matter. And now I'm starting to understand. This is what holy men are doing. They realize that money causes all this shit, possession. That's why they go, no money, no possessions, fuck it. They go to a cave and they just live their life, accessing that absolute peace and love that comes from deep meditation, spiritual practice, all that kind of stuff, because that is where the greatest joy is. Having peace of mind, living peacefully, eating, loving people around you, and just, that's what it is. There is no greater joy. And that's the joy we're not supposed to tap into. I'm surprised they allow people to meditate. I'm surprised they're not coming out with meditation is a cult, it's bad, it's very dangerous for you. Because if they could, they'd be doing that. They'd be stopping people from doing that shit, because it's one way to access the truth. I access my own way. I can't meditate. I fucking suck at it. I wish I could. I tried. I failed. Maybe I'll get back into it. But reading books and just going through life and learning the stuff I've learned, I've got to this point. But you can access that stuff through meditation too. But yeah, I don't know what else there's to say. I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, no. For the people listening in, It's fun stuff to talk about, but I just wanted to say, well, what if this is actually happening? What if like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I press my nose and I'm like, am I really real? Where was I? And I go like, what the fuck is going on? Everything is just so fucking weird. I actually exist. What even is existence? Who the fuck is Sasha Daygame? I'm in this reality where I met this guy who runs around and picks up girls during the day being himself, and there's these evil people out there, and then there's these animals. Like, what the fuck is going on? This is the craziest. I see life as the most craziest, like, video game ever created in the whole world, and we're all the main character of it. We're all the main characters of it, and we're all playing these equally beautiful roles. And we've probably been doing this for infinity, and we're probably gonna just keep doing it for infinity. Like, this moment is just a wink in an infinite game. That's it. Just keeps going, forever and ever. We've already been doing this, and one way I like to think about it is we've probably spent billions and billions and billions and billions of years in like a perfect heaven, where just everything is love all the time, and we probably got a little bit bored of that. And we probably want all the challenges and hardships and pain that we're experiencing in this life just because it's more of a roller coaster. We can't die. We're not going to just disappear. And like, if you think about death, what is it? Just going to sleep and never waking up? Like, that doesn't happen because consciousness can't be destroyed. It's there. It's there forever. So you're not going to go to sleep and never wake up. There's always something. So the only roller coaster that we could do is pain and pleasure. We probably have done tons of times of just pure pleasure all the time, but every once in a while it's a little fun to have a little pain. It's fun to have drama. It's fun to not know what's going to happen. I think the biggest joy in life is the surprise. What's going to happen next? So the thing is about all the government controlling things, all these rich guys in their who run America in their boardrooms who are just playing on how to fuck people over, how they can make the most money. Those people are also God. The people who have fucked us over in our lives, those people are also God, and they're just temporarily being the bad guys. And it's almost like they're actually more of the saints than the actual saints, because in this existence they're like, you know, I'll play the bad guy this time. Like, Jesus was actually like the most selfish person, because he's like, all right, I'm actually going to beat God this time, you know. So Jesus like played the game in easy mode. Well, he got killed. He didn't play it on easy mode. But you know what I'm saying? It's like the people who are actually being like the assholes, they're God too. Everyone's God, and what's like all the fucked up shit that's happening, the ideal way to see it is to see it as it's perfect in the most far out way. Like, we want the government to tell us to stop meditating. Like, we want people to tell us sex is bad, because then when you start having sex, and you're like, for someone who is a Mormon for like 20 years and not allowed to have sex, if they actually have sex with someone, it's almost like this like secret thing, and they're like sneaking around having sex, and then that's fun, you know.
That makes it fun. Yeah. Totally.
If you're just told at a young age, like I almost wish I was like born like really strict religious, because if I was just born with like sex positive parents who like have sex right away, it's healthy, just where it kind of be safe, like that wouldn't be as fun, like sneaking around, you know, and like thinking it's bad and still doing it. Like I think the best way to see things, and you could choose how you see things, you know, you don't have to think like this, but it just makes sense that the best way to see things is whatever's happening, this is perfect. Like, the bad stuff is making this shit fun. Like, that's fun. That's cool shit. Like, you know, if we are God and the best perfect thing actually is happening, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be like everyone is in this love vibration all the time. At points it probably is, but we like the drama. We like the suspense. There's a reason we watch horror movies, is because we get a thrill all of it. We like monsters. We like danger. We're infinite beings. Like, nothing can stop us. There's no real danger. Fear is just an illusion.
That's it. Dude, I'll quote something Bashar said when somebody asked him.
Yeah.
Dude, Bashar's fucking epic. Like, anybody out there, like, go listen to Bashar. You can go on YouTube, and then you know, if you're into it, you can always find more of his stuff. But he basically, somebody asked him, like, what about you know, what if we die and there's no existence? It was some question, and his answer was basically, listen, non-existence is already full of everything that doesn't exist. Existence is full of only things that do exist. So if you have consciousness and you know that you are and you exist, you will always exist. You are. There's no end. There's no death. It's just you exist. That's it. There's nothing to worry about. So and that's fucking really, really, you know, I really thought about that. And I was like, holy fucking shit, that's awesome.
Yeah. In some ways, it's almost scary. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do for the rest of time?
Whatever you want. That's the thing. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's almost a little scary.
It is scary. Dude, I feel overwhelmed just in this life because there's so much stuff I want to do in this particular body, in this particular life. There's so much I want to do.
Yeah.
But you don't have to get it all done in this life. You could just do some of it, and then you'll do some of it some other life. You know, it's not a big deal.
You could do this life an infinite amount of times.
And again, I know there's people out there who say, well, how do they know reincarnation is real? Reincarnation, and I just want to, just so people can enjoy this who are maybe like skeptical, reincarnation has been proven to be happening beyond any shadow of a doubt, even by Western mainstream scientists. It's all there. The research is all there. They've done experiments. They've done all sorts of stuff. There's just too much stuff going on where it's just been proven. It's not even a question anymore. It's not a question. Reincarnation is what's happening. So I don't care what religious dogma, whatever shit you can believe, whatever the hell you want to, but there's no death. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I hate being like, you got to believe what I think. No. I'm talking about something that just happens to be true. That's just what it is. And so whatever, it just is. And there's so many examples of 5-year-old kids who are like speaking ancient Sumerian. They're little kids who are explaining like how they were in World War II dogfights and explaining how to. There's one on YouTube about it. You could just look it up, like World War II, child fighter pilot World War II, whatever. And the kids describing how to fly the plane and little things about the plane that nobody would know except pilots. And they actually went and found World War II pilots, and they're like, yeah, this kid was there. We're talking about thousands of these. There's whole books written about it, different story. It's insane how much evidence there is, and it's almost absurd how much the system will ignore, to try and keep up this illusion of just like what's happening, which is completely not true. So it's fascinating. And I encourage people to do your own research and really find out about it because this podcast makes a lot more sense if you realize there's no death and you're eternal. Once you accept that, holy fuck, does this make a lot of sense what we're saying? But I can realize people will be like, what the fuck are they talking about? But yeah, that's what's going on.
Have you shared that psychic story or that crazy spiritual
Not really,
story
dude.
publicly?
It's so fucking epic that I was gonna write this massive. I got a spiritual blog, ZulAwakens.com, where I was just gonna put all my crazy spiritual stuff. It's a really fucking crazy story.
When you shared that story, when we were talking about Paul yesterday too, I also got that love vibration.
Yeah,
It's something I was telling Sasha is I could just every once in a while when I'm hanging with people, I almost get this Jedi energy out of them, where they're just saying something to me, and I'm almost my heart starts vibrating, and I'm back in that just this loving space. I'm just getting love from them, where you just want to hug people and realize that that's what matters. Love. That's it.
That's it.
And that just sharing those fucking epic stories where you kind of just wake up to what's actually happening. That's when you feel it. That love.
Dude, it's awesome.
That was an epic story. I think that'd be really awesome to share that story.
I've always wanted to share that story. I don't know. It's weird. It's me self-sabotaging myself. Oh well, it's too intense. People are gonna, maybe I should do it later, whatever. Fuck it. Let's just tell the story, I guess.
Yeah, and one thing about what you were saying about the drugs, like San Pedro ayahuasca. It's not you taking the drug; it's the drug choosing to take you. And I almost feel like same with stories. It's not you telling a story; it's like the story choosing. Now it's the time to be told.
Well, I think God through you chose to tell that story now, but that's cool. That's it's all the same. So yeah, this is pretty epic. So basically, I have a friend who will remain nameless. Let's just call her Jane. Jane's a nice name. So she's uber psychic, legitimate, terrifying. Like she's one of the people that the police call or the FBI call when there's a child missing and they're gonna die in a day and they need fucking answers. She that's what she is. She's psychic to the level of it's creepy, and there's stories. I could tell people that would just be like, what the fuck? So she's always talking to spirit. She's just talking to spirit all the time, directly getting messages. She's written fucking manuscripts right from spirit. Just no problem whatsoever. So, and we connected, and it's like fate put us together. It's really obvious, fate just put us together. I was reading a book called, what was it called? The Four Laws, I believe it's called. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a while ago now. And I'm staying at my buddy's house, and I go to the elevator, and we're just in the elevator just from the time just a few really a short amount of time, we're talking a matter of 20, 30 seconds, something like that. And in that time, I made like one little joke in the elevator, and Jane smiled, and I was like, hey, what are you reading? She shows me this book, and it's The Four Laws, and I was like, oh, I'm reading that book right now. It didn't have it in my hand, but it was in the room. I was just like, I'm reading that right now. And I knew immediately it was one of those moments of like synchronicity. And I was like, let me guess, you're just about to start the third law. She's like, yep. I said, yeah, me too. Let me guess. And I said, yeah, a friend randomly just gave me that book recently. And she goes, yeah, me too. And I was like, we should talk. And it's like I'm already in balance enough with the Force to know when some important shit is going down. So I knew. And of course, we ended up sitting in the hallway, fucking talking for like 3 hours, literally just in the hallway of this fucking building. And we became friends. And she had some epic things to say. But at some point down the road, we became friends. And I come over, and I'm like, yo, let's look at some of my past lives. Because I've never done past life regression. I'm sure I have some interesting stuff going on. And she's like, sure, let's check it out. So we go into it, and I had some pretty normal, interesting lives. One time I was in a powerful like a tribe around 1400 somewhere in South America, where they had really powerful magic, but they were doing magic for good, like they were really using their power for everyone in the tribe. I was just a normal tribe member. I wasn't like the baller leader or anything. I was just a normal dude. But I'm a normal dude now. So that was cool. And then another life, I had these. We were doing these missions where we had these big sleds. It was somewhere in Mongolia, and I was just shoving these sleds across with some kind of stuff, and it was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We weren't sure what the stuff was, but they were epic, and people were really appreciative, and I would get a big welcome when I got to whatever the land I was going to. So that was cool. A lot of beautiful mountains, so quite spiritual energy, like quite powerful energy and stuff. Another one, I was I was just a fisherman, so basically really simple, like beautiful water, just going out fishing, coming back, and it had a really great reverence for the water and for nature, because it was sometimes people would go out and they wouldn't come back, so it was a simple, nice, happy life. And another one was interesting. I was somewhere in the French aristocracy, so I wasn't like like a big time king or queen, but I was like the cousin of one of the powerful royal families. So I went to all the big parties and experienced that whole lavish what it must have been. This was like in the 1700s. It was pretty epic. But again, it was just I was like I think I was like a lawyer or something, which I was like, what, really? But something to do with the law is what we got. So that was interesting. And so we do these first four, and then she's like, okay, do you want to keep going? And I was like, fuck yeah, this is a great time. Let's keep going. And then this is where it just got real. It just got really real, really fast. So she's just there, and she's tapping into it, and you can see her just kind of like there, aware, and she's just like, okay, there's something's going on here. This is really weird. It took about 5 minutes for her to really tune into what was happening, And then she goes, okay, I'm seeing a planet. I'm seeing a planet, and yeah, it's a really special place. It's really amazing. There's so much love, and there's so much there's no death. It's just all good. It's just beautiful. She goes, I never felt energy like this before. This is just so beautiful. She goes, I'm getting a real home feeling. I said, okay. And then she goes, okay, there's something happening here, and this is really strange. And she's just like almost doubting like this happening. And she looks at me, and she just goes, the consciousness of this planet is here right now, and it wants to talk to you. And I was like, holy shit. And I could feel just energy in the room. I could just feel it. It's just excitement. It's just good. It was like excitement. It's like, it's hard to even explain, but you could just feel something. And I'm like, okay. And for the next hour and a half, we just had a really open and just fucking unbelievable conversation with this consciousness, basically. And yeah. So what happened was basically the consciousness always referred to everybody as friends. So, just we're friends, and like they were my friend, and it was just, they would always use that to refer to everybody. We're all friends, they would always say. So she just kept freaking out, because she was just always saying, holy fuck, I've never felt so much love and compassion ever. She was like, because she's super psychic, she was almost overwhelmed by it. She just couldn't fucking believe it. At one point she was like, do you mind, Sasha, if I call upon your friends another time to just speak with them? And I'm just like, yeah, of course. And I think she asked them, and they're like, yeah, we're all friends. It's all good. So I basically went and had this conversation. So I was asking them all kinds of stuff. I went to town. I was just like, okay, and I just went, asked them a whole bunch of stuff. I was asking them about. I was just like, when is the, I asked them about Fukushima. I was just like, well, what about Fukushima? What's going to happen? That's serious. And their answer was, there are beings working on that problem. And I was like, okay, that made me feel better. I said, when will all life on this planet be wiped out? And they said, that is being determined now. I was like, okay. And there was a bunch of other stuff. The couple of takeaways that I really took away from it, that for me were like, I'm not going to go into all my questions, but the two things that for me were just like, holy fuck. I asked them, first of all, like, again, people who follow me might know I had a really, really bad childhood. Like, my mom was, like, super manic, like, throwing shit at me, flipping out, beating me up, telling me I'm a fucking, piece of shit, telling me I'm going to be a garbage man. Really brutal psychological abuse. Physical, too, but the psychological were. So it wasn't pretty. And I kind of always, somewhere in the back of my mind, I guess, I was always wondering, like, why? Was I a bad person in another life? Is it karma I'm working off? Like, look, why did that happen to me? And I'm sure a lot of people get these kind of thoughts, like, why? And I got my answer, and I asked them that. I was like, why? Why did I have this? And their answer was, because of who you are. Oh, by the way, just to give context, before this question, I asked them, like, what am I doing on this planet? Like, why am I here? And they said, they said I was here for my mission. I came down here to raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. That's why I'm here. They said there was many people here doing that, thousands. I even asked how many people from my planet are here doing that, and it wasn't clear. It was like either 400 or 400 and then 1,000. We weren't sure, but there's a bunch of us. So then I asked the question about my mom, and they said you were already coming to this planet to do your mission anyway, and we knew because of who you are and what you are, your love would help her, that it would heal her, and we knew that you could handle it, even though it would be tough for you. We knew you could get through, that you'd be okay because of you being you. So you accepted it as a bonus mission because you were already coming here anyway. And for me, that was a real aha moment. That was a real, like, oh fuck, holy shit moment, because it made sense. It made sense, like if someone said to me, all right, you're going to go do this thing, there's this other thing that you can do, it's going to be tough, you're going to get through it, but it's for the greater good. You want to do it? I could see me going, fuck it. Yeah. So, and the other big thing I asked them, and
so you, how old are you now?
36 now.
36, yeah, so all the problems you had, what, from like 0 to 18?
Basically, it was from consciousness, so maybe like from where I can remember.
Yeah.
So anywhere from like 4 or 5 to, pretty much to 17, 18. Yeah, it was so shitty.
It's really beautiful to think that, like, you had all this time you're thinking, why me? Why am I suffering here? Why am I paying? I don't deserve this. But 18 years later, 20, like if you talk about when you were just a kid, like 30 years later, you finally, like, it seems like now the way you're talking about this, you finally have clarity.
Yeah.
And your problem, you have closure and the pain you experienced.
Yeah.
You're I'm not sure would you say you're glad you experienced it? But you see the beauty in the experience now.
I see that I see that I gave her a child full of a lot of love and a wonderful, talented kid who gave her hope, and really, like, who knows what, if she could have survived that as long as she did without me. So I could see that, and I can see that experience made me who I am today.
Yeah.
It really, like, it's one of those experiences that if you get through that type of hardship, what I went through, like, really, really, and there's a lot of people out there I know who are going through this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you can get through that and come out of it and just take the lessons and just move on and grow from it, you become fucking awesome. You can help so many other people overcome that, you see? Mm-hmm. Which is what I'm doing. Or you can let it destroy you. And you can turn to drugs and alcohol, God knows what, being a criminal, who knows what, and cover up that pain and not deal with it. So for me, it's been a fucking transformational experience. Or other people, maybe not so much, but maybe realizing that when you go through shit like this, that's what it is. It's an opportunity to work on your shit, your soul, and your life as a human being. Then that's what it is. It's really an opportunity for growth. It's not, and not again, not just human growth. Your spiritual soul fucking development. That's what it is when you're dealing with that kind of hardcore shit. So, yeah, and it can be brutal sometimes. You know, it can be brutal, and there's people out there going through way more brutal shit than I went through. You know, for me it was brutal, but you know, I don't want to even go into the brutality that's going on. But holy fuck, there's some horrible stuff going on. So yeah, so for me that gave me some clarity. Yeah, that's awesome. The other thing that that I asked them, as I said, you know, I always wanted to be a comedian. I always thought I would be like a really famous comedian, going and waking people up and doing my crazy shit that I do. And I asked them, I said, should I? Is that my path? Should I go back to comedy and get really famous and wake more people up to the nature of reality and, you know, what's actually happening? Because I really want to change the planet and help people. That's, you know, I want to do it, and that's why I'm here. And their answer was something along the lines of, you can do that, but be careful. They said, you must, if you go down this path, you must go down this path with love. Because you must also awaken your enemy, and you must do that with love. You can't come at it from, you know, they're basically saying you can't come at it from anger, because anger, fear, that's their tool. That's what they're doing. So you cannot wake them up with more fucking fear. You have to go with love. You know? And that fucking, you know, really blew me away. The other thing they said, along the same lines, but I believe they said, never underestimate what you can do with patience and love. You can accomplish anything. That was really powerful. That's when I knew that I'm talking to some deep people here. This isn't you know, this isn't our imagination. These people, this is happening. You know, it was really epic. And that's a tough lesson for me to accept and live, because I got a lot of anger. I got a, you know, really in my comedy, man, you know, I was angry. I had a lot of pain, and really the comedy was a way to vent that pain and put it out there, and I was really funny with it, you know, but it's coming from a dark place. And some of the best comics are angry, fucking funny motherfuckers. So for me to transform myself and really get to that place of love and still go and be funny and take that pain and be funny, but from a conscious place, that's going to be hard for me, I think. Or maybe it could be. It's, you know, it's definitely going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be something different, because if you look at my past, and you know, there's a little bit of my comedy up, but not that much. But I was definitely coming from a place of anger, you know, attacking. You know, I had some jokes where I'm attacking, you know, some corporations and the government, and I'm just really fucking angry. Fuck you, you know. And I'm sure there's a way to do it, and without the anger. If you look at Bill Hicks, for example, one of my favorite comics, he was enlightened, and he was waking people up to the truth of life in his comedy. But he was still coming from, you know, he was still yelling and fucking swearing and still coming at it. It's weird, because he was angry and he was enlightened. And that's really how I feel I am. I feel not necessarily enlightened, but just like, I know what's up. You know, I know what's going on. I'm awake to a degree, but I'm fucking angry. And I am angry at a lot of stuff that's going on. So I think part of the journey for me moving forward will be coming to grips with that, and coming to grips with, like, if I am going to go into comedy, what am I going to do with it? How conscious am I going to be with it? But that experience and having that conversation with my friends was really powerful, really transformative. It's one of the most you know, it's a turning point in my life for sure. And that's not, and the rest of the story I didn't actually tell you. So there's actually more to that story. That's, you know, really fascinating. And again, I don't talk about it, because it's just, for most people, it's just going to be it's going to be really out there. But fuck it. I've said, you know, I really want to talk about everything and not hold back. So one of the things my friends told me, well, another thing they said is that they're really proud of me. They said I'm doing a great job, and they're really proud and they're happy for me. And I was like, that's cool. But they also said that the connection I have with them is permanent. And they said the line of communication is also permanent. And they said, anytime you want to communicate with us or ask us anything, we're there. You can always talk to us. And they were like, literally, you can always communicate with us. We're here. And I was like, okay. So after this, you know, this whole session, the next morning I wake up and I'm like, okay, I want to test this theory. Can I really do this? And I was really like, my mind was, you know, in a different state. I'm just like, holy fuck, you know. You're in a different, when you get into real spiritual stuff and you have these kind of experiences, it really puts you in a different vibrational frequency. Just as you were saying, just talking about this stuff. Like right now, the energy in the room is different, and I'm pretty sure they're here right now. This room does not feel normal anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on here. So the next day, I wake up and I get my laptop out, and I just that first time I didn't use my laptop. I actually did old school. I got a piece of paper and a pen, and I just had a thought, and I was like, and I was really into healing people, you know, because my friend is also a healer, the psychic. So my question was, how do I heal people? And instantly I felt the answer. I just knew it. I just wrote it down. It said, you must heal yourself first. And then I thought, okay, how do I do that? And they said, remove all guilt and shame. And I said, how do I do that? And then I wrote down, I can't remember. I think it was just love yourself. You know, love. That's right. It was just love. It was a one word, love. Mm-hmm. That was it. That was my first communication with them. And I was like, okay. And then since that moment, and I realized this was happening, and then I had to test it, of course, because I'm partially a skeptic to them, because it's really fucking happening. So I got my laptop out since then, and dude, I've had fucking long ass conversations where I'm just really clear with my intention, asking them questions, and I'm just getting fucking strong answers where I'm just like writing. I got several pages of stuff. And there's been situations where I'm just, you know, I really need to know something, whatever, and I'll just sit down and I'll have my intention clear, and it just comes. Yeah, and it's crazy. It's just ridiculous. So basically, I'm channeling, and I'm doing it, you know, in my own way, which is just, I can just feel it. I just know what the answer is, and I write it down, and that's it.
So it's kind of just like an intuitional thought that you just
I just know.
Feel.
I just
know.
I just know. I ask a question, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, I just feel it, and I just write it down. Mm-hmm. And just so yeah, and that's just part of my reality. And I haven't done it for a while, and even now, even though I've done it a bunch of times and had this, you know, amazing communication, I still think, did that really happen? Could I still do that? What if it's gone? It's always there. Yeah. It's always there. But even now, it's just so cool that so out of the ordinary. I still kind of doubt it sometimes. I go, wow, can I actually do that? But I can't. And I've had moments of like really crazy shit going on that, you know, I got one fucking crazy ass story. I might as well share because it's pretty fucking out there. One time, I went to Australia, and the same talk I was talking about, I did my 7 Secrets of Seduction. Got really spiritual, and there was one guy there. We'll call him. I'm just gonna make up a name. Let's call him Michael. So he can be anonymous. Basically, this guy was, you know, kind of a fan of mine. He recognized me on the street, and we hung out a little bit. And he, you know, I invited him to the talk, and I got real deep, real spiritual. You know, I was really talking about some heavy stuff. And after the talk, he comes up and he's just freaking out because he'd never really, you know, he'd never tapped into this kind of stuff before. So he's just like, dude, holy fuck, this is awesome. We hung out a little bit more, and I saw potential in this kid, and I liked him. Hung out a couple of times, and he just started getting really weird. You know, he was saying like heavy spiritual stuff that I would sort of say, but he didn't understand it. I sort of had certain understandings, and he didn't, and he was sort of saying stuff, and he started saying shit that was really, really weird. That what, you know, he was just like, you know, he's just like, just really weird shit, like God is love, but God is hate. And he just really fucked up shit. And I was just like, no, dude, that's not true. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, and he was sort of like losing it. And I hung out with him again, and at his house, and all his friends were just like, dude, what's going on with him? He's acting really fucking weird, man. What's going on? I was just like, yeah, he's experienced some kind of higher level kind of stuff, and he's kind of freaking out. He'll probably be fine. Anyway, he invites him to go see a relative of his, who's into this kind of stuff, and actually. She's into this. Let's just say she's into this kind of stuff, right? And yeah, so we go down there and to meet this woman. And as we're hanging out, she was cool. We got along pretty well. But as we're hanging out, this dude starts acting really fucking weird, man. Like he starts walking around the house naked, you know, and people are like, dude, what are you doing? We're in a restaurant. He fucking takes something. He just smashes it on the floor, like breaks, shatters some glass. And she's like, what are you doing? And he just started getting more and more out of control. Like, really, something really fucking weird was going on. And I started to realize, that's not him anymore. Some really bad shit is happening. And so, basically, he left the house for a bit, and when we were freaking out, and we realized like something really bad is going on here. And I started to suspect that he was possessed by something. Something was in charge of him, because he wasn't him anymore. He couldn't really talk to him. He was just acting really weird. And I went on my laptop, and again I was really clear. And it always comes through when I'm really clear. Like I need some information. Like I really fucking need to know what the fuck is going on. That shit comes through really clear. And if I'm just dicking around and I'm just acting some stupid shit, it's really not. Sometimes it's like, no, nothing's really coming through. So it's really there when I need it. Like, because it comes, again, it's not, it comes from here. It comes from the inside. It's your fucking soul. I'm communicating on a soul level, right? So I was really fucking clear. I'm just like, okay, shit's getting real here. So I sat down and I'm like, okay, like, what's going on here? And they were just like, yeah, he's possessed by a powerful entity. And I was like, okay, what do we do to remove it? Like, what do we do here? And they were real clear. They're just like, neither you or the relative are powerful enough to do this. You can't. You need a professional exorcist. And I was like, fuck. Soon after that, a few hours after that, it got really, really bad, and he got to the point of screaming the most horrific, vile shit. You motherfucker! I'll fucking rape you! I'll fucking kill you! I'll tear your fucking skin! Like
he's not like this at all
dude,
before?
No. He was a normal sweet kid before. He was gone.
It's weird.
Dude, he was gone. He was gone. So at one point, she was literally going, where's Michael? Where's Michael? And he's like, fuck you! Fuck you!
Who's saying where's Michael?
His relative.
Okay.
Yeah. She was just saying, I'm just keeping the story relevant, without too much detail, but she was basically like, where's Michael? Where's Michael? And he's just like, fuck you, go to hell. He was gone. I at one point literally grabbed him and like, by the power of Jesus Christ, I compel you to leave this body. And I was like, he was like, fuck you. He just flipped out more. Yeah, dude, it was really terrifying. And at one point, like he those movies where somebody like turns their head and it's like it's really scary, and it was that. It was that, but scary because it's happening in front of your face. That is not human consciousness controlling that body anymore. It's just not. You can feel it. It's gone. You can't communicate with it. It's just swearing. It's full of hate and anger and just wants to fucking destroy. It's scary. The good news was I was a lot bigger than this guy. He was pretty small. I'm not a small dude. He was a small dude. So I literally was like, dude, you're sitting down in that fucking chair right now. And I just push him in the chair. I'm just like, you stay. And every time he'd try and get up, I'm like, stay, sit down. Because I knew at that point, there was a point where I realized my life could be in danger. Because he's gone. He's gone. So this is not a human anymore. He could go in the kitchen, get a fucking knife out, and just fucking kill someone. Like, no joke. So when I realized that, we're like, you're staying in a chair. And I'm physically strong enough to keep, thank God I was there. He could, he could not physically overwhelm me. I'm just way bigger and stronger than he was. So I was just like, thank fuck that's the case. And I remember one moment where I really was realizing this shit is getting really serious, and that my life could be in danger here. Like this guy could kill me because it's not a human. And I really tapped in and I really focused up, and I was like, friends, I need you now. Oh, and I asked them actually when I was typing before. I said, will you help me in this period? And we said we'll help you. Don't worry. I said okay. So in that moment, he's there in the chair, and I'm standing there breathing, and I was just really conscious, and I was just like, I need your help now. This is real. This is really serious. And I realized I could die, and I was like, this is serious. And I felt this fucking indescribable power, this force just entering my body, this vibration, this just power. So even though in the way I was, in that human way that your adrenaline is up and you're kind of like really on alert, at the same time I felt absolute calmness and power and strength there at the same time as the fear. Was weird. It was like two completely different things. I had the human fear and this infinite fucking power and wisdom, knowing I was in control, everything's fine, I have nothing to worry about. And they were fucking right there with me. They were just like, boom, we're right here right now. It was indescribable power and just consciousness. So I'm just there and I'm feeling that channeling through me, and I'm like, okay, cool, you're staying in the chair. And he'd get out of the chair, and I'd push him back. I'd, nope, you're staying in the chair. You're not going anywhere. He's like, okay. And eventually, they called the cops. Cops showed up, and they No, sorry. The first person that showed up was from like a person from the crazy house to kind of see. They spoke to him and realized he was off his fucking rocker really quick. Cop showed up, tried to talk to him, tried to reason with him. He was just like, "Fuck you, you fucking." He was literally telling the cop.
Weirdest thing ever,
dude. He's not weird. He was possessed by fucking powerful people. He was telling them to go fuck themselves and go to fucking blah blah blah. And literally, very quickly, they're like, "Okay, so we're gonna take you in now for your own safety. You can come with." And he was just not really. He was gone. So they literally just grabbed him. They fucking put the fucking cuffs on him. And they just fucking took him off, man.
Took him to the mental house.
They took him to the fucking loony bin.
Yeah.
And that was some heavy shit. and I thought about it, and I'm pretty sure I know what happened. And this is important for anybody who's interested in doing any type of substances. Okay. And I've touched on this before in another podcast. Your field, as it were, your energy field, whatever you want to call it. It weakens your personal, whatever, I don't even know the word, but everyone has like an aura, an energetic field, your own defense, it weakens if you drink. It weakens if you do drugs. And interestingly, if you're around, or you open up your consciousness to certain higher level spiritual stuff, if you're not ready for it, it is possible that also your field also gets weakened, and you can actually have influences, shit like affect you, take you over. I mean, this shit is real, it can happen. And so what I think happened was, that's what happened basically. Like, and also that when you're accessing that higher vibrational stuff, and you're almost like opening up a portal, because like I can feel it here now in the room as we're having this discussion. This room is now a portal. There's shit going on here. There's good stuff. So the people in the room all thinking at the same level and opening up their consciousness, whatever, it was like 25 guys in the room thing, but 30 people, 25 people in the room with their consciousness is literally their frequency going up. That attracts not just good stuff, but bad stuff that goes, oh wow, there's this spiritual fucking awesome energy. I'm attracted to this. And then it'll see someone whose field is lower, who's maybe, for whatever reason. And also, he turns out he'd done acid a couple weeks before, and he was having some hard times and weird shit going on then too. So if his field is lower and he's accessing this kind of stuff, it just goes, okay, I want to feed off this. I can go into here. And he doesn't have the defenses. He's not conscious enough to defend against that sort of thing. And it just goes, and it gets in there. And that's what happened. I think that's my theory. Something took his ass over, and it slowly just gained more and more influence. And it's interesting because at first he was just a little bit weird, but it's almost like he just got worse and worse. So I don't know if he was giving into it and enjoying the power and whatever the thing was offering him, because I wonder if he was conscious of it and he was just like, no, you don't have my permission. Fuck off. I don't want this. It might have just not been able to do anything and left, but he just got deeper and deeper and deeper in it. So I think that's what happened. And to this day, I'm a little disturbed because I heard later that they put him on some really light sedative, and he after a while he got better and his family came to get him, and he was kind of doing okay. But I just don't believe that thing is going to leave unless a professional gets rid of it, and I don't think that's happened. I don't think they've realized the severity of what was happening. So I still wonder like what the fuck happened. And I've almost been kind of like reticent to contact him and go, hey, so how's Mike doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't done it. But that shit was real, and there's more to that story that it would just take too long to explain. But that's basically the gist of it. So and again, I did a podcast before where I talk about psychic self-defense. It's there. It was with Marcus and another woman. Yeah, that's right. So it's there, and we talk about that stuff. So it's important if you're doing any kind of stuff, spiritual stuff, whatever. It's important to know basically how to defend your body and how to create a shield and this kind of stuff. And the information is out there. But yeah, that was pretty fucking scary.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that was a scary experience.
Yeah. Well, whenever I talk about drugs on my YouTube channel, I always give lots of warnings. Because you're in your mid-30s taking lots of drugs, you've had tons of amazing life experiences, you know what you're doing. But I'm always worried that some 16-year-old is gonna hear me tell a story about MDMA and take MDMA and fry his brain, So I always like to throw in lots of cautionary things. And one of the most important things is the intention and kind of emotional and space you're at before you take the drug. Because your intention just to party and go crazy and I'm doing this because I heard this cool podcast of Sasha Daygame or Joe Rogan talking about crazy shit, so I'm gonna do it because I want to explore all this crazy shit. No, that's not how it works. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's almost like the drug comes to you that you'll be inspired to do it. And I'm 23, and I don't think I don't have any. I definitely don't feel like people look at my channel. They're like, you're way too wise and know what's going on for a 23-year-old. And whenever people ask me about drugs, I say I'm way too immature to take any hardcore shit like that. Maybe when I'm like 29, probably not even then. I probably still won't be mature enough then to do that type of stuff. I'd rather experience more spiritual, mystical experiences naturally. But I don't know, just for people listening out there, if you want to, you actually don't want to experience this crazy shit unless you're feeling the inspiration to do it. And it's almost like the drug does you. And it's really about the intention and the emotional place you're coming from. So I think that's just an important thing to always throw in and say whenever talking about this crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to be wise enough. It's like, you know, I'm never like, yeah, everybody go do drugs. And like, no, go and do what you need to do to find your own truth and to become who you want to become, you know. And for some people, that might involve, you know, taking some of these substances. And for some people, not, you know. Yeah. Again, my first experience, when I realized we were all fucking one, and I was just doing nice things for people and reading this book on reincarnation, and I had a mystical experience. Yep. Yeah. There's many people who have had those experiences just tuning into that consciousness. Yeah. That's what it really is. It's just like, go down the path. Go down the path. There's so many amazing books written on this, and you can start with autobiography of a yogi by
Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yeah. You know, there's a great start. I've told people 1 billion times to read Conversations with God, because it's
great book,
fucking epic.
Yep.
And you know, and start there. You know, start somewhere.
Listen to some Alan Watts videos.
Listen to some Alan Watts. There's just so much out there. It's like we're living in a time where just like it is. You know, there was a time when this was ancient mystic knowledge where you couldn't even get at it. You'd have to go and be in a temple and be in it for years, and until someone takes you in a secret room and shows you some text with some wisdom. Dude, you can go on fucking YouTube right now and get all the enlightened, like crazy ass information. It's insane. This is the time to wake the fuck up right now. You get access to everything, all the books. You don't even need to have a library of books. You can have a Kindle and just buy all these awesome books, or borrow. You can borrow them from your friends. You get like 2 weeks of. I just did this for the first time recently. If one of your buddies or someone you know has a book, you can borrow it for 2 weeks for free. They just click a button and it lends it to you. That's
it.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And shit that will completely change your life.
Yeah.
You know, so there's really no excuse. It's just like, look, if you want to go down the path and wake the fuck up and get to this place, go for it. You know. Yeah. But I would just say this. Do it without the substances first. Go down the path. Help people. Fix your life. Do what you love. You know, get your vibrational frequency as high as you can, as pure as you can, coming from the right place, and start living your life that way. And that's really what it's about. And then if you're doing that and you're already having these awakenings and stuff, then you start tuning into the universal, you know, frequency. You see what I'm saying? The God frequency. Yep. And then when you're communicating with it, believe me, that inspiration of like, yep, go to South America and do this stuff, it's just going to come. It's going to tell you, yep, you're ready. Get your ass down there. Yep. You'll be inspired to do so. Yeah. And so, and if you get to that point, don't just decide. Feel it out, do a little research, talk to some people, because if it's really calling you, synchronicities are going to happen in your life. You're going to meet other people who are like, yeah, I'm just on my way to South America. You know, just this week, I was having a thought, trying to remember what this example was, and then suddenly 2 or 3 things immediately happen that are just giving me the same message, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go. Okay, all right, I got the message. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So just everybody. You know, it's not like I'm super special because I can channel these beings from the planet I'm from. You can all do it. You all have a communication to the universal force. All of you, because you're all channeled by spirit. You all have a fucking soul. You know, nobody else listening to this can go, nope, I have no soul. This is all bullshit. You have a soul. The soul comes from that universal energy. And so guess what? You already have a connection. Yeah. You can't deny it. It's there. And every time you've ever had an instinct or a gut feeling, or you just knew something inherently, everyone has that experience. You just know, don't fucking do this today, or don't go this way, or you know, I should call this person now, or you have a feeling someone's going to call you and they do. It's happened to everyone. Yeah. Anyone who says, no, nothing like that's ever happened to me, you're in denial. You're in denial. It happens to everybody. So you already have that. So tap into it. Listen to your heart. Get out of your fucking head. Stop running these thoughts and listen to your heart. Listen to yourself. You have that connection with the universal spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. It's there. And, start tuning into it.
I think the best way to start is what you're talking about. Is like everything is energy, and everything you're inputting is energy. And think about where the energy that you're inputting is coming from. So, for example, porn. Porn, 95% of the time, 99% of the time, is coming from a dark place. There's these girls who just need to make money, they're not doing it because it's not coming from a place of love. So if you're digesting something that's not coming from a place of love, you're getting that negative energy. You're getting negative energy from porn, from smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes is coming from these guys in these boardrooms of these 100-story buildings just talking about how can we market this to fuck people over. So if you're, cigarettes, junk food, trying to get powerful, trying to get fame, trying to get money, talking shit about people, everyone knows what's negative energy and everyone knows what's positive energy. And the more you do your very best to eliminate the negative energy from your life and to focus on getting positive energy from your life, that's just kind of how you up your vibration and up this access into the spiritual and loving, dreamlike nature of the world. I want to just share a quick story that I shared with Sasha earlier about.
Yeah.
I had this experience where I was. I'll take a picture of. I had this experience where I have trouble falling asleep at times, and it was about 2 a.m. and I was just laying in bed, and then suddenly I started having. I didn't tell you this part. Yeah, I was laying in bed. I closed my eyes for a second, and then I saw this, like, flash of light, this like orb of light, just boom, one second flash of orb of light. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I opened up, and then that's when I felt that weird presence. I forgot to mention that part. And I felt this presence in the room. And at first the presence was like dark and insecure. And suddenly I started having all these insecure thoughts. And I remember seeing this homeless person when I was in Arizona, and I was almost like imagining all the pain and suffering that this homeless person was going through. For some reason I was like really connecting to those thoughts. And I was thinking about all the pain and suffering in the world, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it was this sad melancholy. In a way it was like peaceful, but I was connecting with all the sadness and pain in the world. And then all of a sudden, all those thoughts, I could feel the energy in the room. All those thoughts turned extremely loving. I was just, I could feel the energy in the room. I was feeling all this love. And it was the weirdest thing ever. I was thinking all these loving thoughts. I was thinking of all these loving memories of how my parents loved me. I just wanted to go and pet my dog. I was just having all these loving thoughts. It was the weirdest thing ever. That doesn't happen to me. I'm a fairly logical, grounded, rational person. I like to challenge everything. I like to tell people I'm the biggest skeptic. I know, I'm challenging everyone. I'm trying to poke holes at everything. But I had this feeling of love. And actually at 3 a.m. I texted one of my friends. I think an alien just visited me or something. I was like, the spirit just visited me. I just felt this weird energy. Anyways, I go to sleep. I wake up 10 or 11, and it took me 3 seconds to calibrate to reality again, and then I go what the fuck happened last night? Was that real? That was the weirdest thing ever. That wasn't a dream, was it? There was this energy in the room, and my roommate Fred was gone. He was in Norway at the time. It was just me by myself in my room. But anyways, I look at my phone. I see the text I sent to my friend. I think an alien visited me. Anyways, I opened up my Facebook Messenger app, my Facebook, and I have this message from this girl. And this is a girl that I've only known for a couple months. I've only hung out with her once in real life, but she's this super spiritual girl. We've talked once on Facebook 4 months ago, just hey, nice to meet you. Something very simple. But anyways, I check my Facebook Messenger inbox, and I get a message from her saying, I just want to let you know that beings out there really, really love you. Beings out there really told me to tell you that they really, really love you right now. So I'm going what the fuck? I had this weird alien message thing, and then I wake up to a message from this spiritual girl who I've never talked to. Completely out of the blue, she told me a message that aliens out there really, really love you. And I've gone on to have these other experiences with this girl. I've had just, whenever I hang out with this girl, there's all these synchronicities or just crazy shit's happening where we're definitely, me and her role is tapping into that spiritual frequency. But an interesting conversation I had with her is just kind of the inspiration of what I'm communicating with her is I tell her how I feel the inspiration that's coming out of me is my role is to be one of the more grounded people this time throughout my life. I like just the way God was talking through me was my role is I'm going to hang out with all these spiritual people who could tap into spirits, angels, past lives, all that stuff. I'm going to be the guy who hangs out with all these people. But my role is to be able to be a very grounded force. I don't feel it's my role. I don't think I'm ever going to take ayahuasca or San Pedro or do that stuff. Maybe I will, who knows. But it was almost that energy, that love energy, God, whatever you want to say it, was communicating to me that's your role in this life is to be very grounded. You're going to be able to connect with all these high frequency spiritual people, but you're going to be able to feel the energy, and you're going to be able to like communicate on the energy to people and really be able to feel it, but you're actually not going to be able to. Your role isn't going to be experiencing tons of that crazy shit, because like your job this time is to be very practical and be able to be like that grounded energy.
Right.
And whenever I hang out with that girl, she says I'm always up in there in my thoughts, but when I hang out with you, I get this grounded energy. And when I have that grounded energy, I'm much more secure expressing all my spirituality.
She said that to you?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I just kind of help ground her and help her like focus more on like business. It's like, all right, like I know I have all this crazy shit, all this value to give, but when I hang out with you, like suddenly I start focusing on business and I start applying it, because that's like kind of the energy that I give. That's my role. So if you're listening to this and you're like, when I first started listening to this shit, I remember I was listening to this Joe Rogan podcast. I was like, I want to have all these spiritual experiences. I want to see fairies and like past lives, ghosts, aliens, angels, like all that shit's real. It is. Whether you're talking energies or whatever you want to call it, it's almost everyone has their own different experiences, different things. But a really important thing is just listening to your heart and seeing what's your role in this lifetime. Some people's role is to not experience any of that, and that's the best thing. That's like there's no right answer. Everyone has their own role to figure out what they're here to do, who they're here for. How are they gonna let love express themselves through you? That's it. Some people are gonna like it's not. I don't see this higher frequencies and lower frequencies. It's all the same frequency, but there's the spiritual frequencies and the grounded frequencies. They're all the same. One's not better than the other. What's better than the other is how much love you can have flowing through you, and what role can you allow that love to flow through you. So if you're listening to this, that's it. How can love flow through you in the best way possible, and through whatever route, and really listening to your heart and intuition and listening to your thoughts. And if you have that intention and you just focus your actions on how can I help the world the best I can, how can I be the most honest person, how can I do what I love, how can I be the most inspirational people, how can I only have positive energy flowing through me the best I can, when I fuck up, to admit it, to be a very vulnerable person, to share my hardships, to share my lessons. I just feel it in my heart sometimes. I have these moments where I'm like, I'm God, everything is love. As fucked up as tons of things are, this is like the most beautiful thing possible, and it's beautiful. I don't know. It's hard to talk about in words once you kind of get to that point. Mm-hmm. It just is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, even if you're totally like don't believe in God, I mean this stuff, just getting to that point where even on a practical level where you can just focus on the positive and just love yourself and love other people and share that joy, even on a purely human life, physical level, you'd still have an awesome time, right? Because you're gonna be a pleasure to be around. People are gonna think you're awesome. They're gonna love you because you're so full of love and you're wonderful. And then you're just gonna have a great life. So even if you completely disregard everything else we said, these fucking guys are crazy. If you just take that message from it, which is just be a loving person and go with love. That's really that's really what it is. No matter what you believe, you can't really go wrong. So yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we said a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be tough to beat. I think that might be the end.
That was really awesome, yeah.
That might be the end.
I felt that, yeah.
Yeah, so...
thank you so much for having me on this podcast, and it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Dude.
For anyone listening to this who really connects to Sasha's energy, I would really encourage you to try to meet the man himself in person. It's just such a more transformational person. You could listen to someone and you could, read their articles, but you could communicate with them through email or Skype. But there's just something about meeting someone in person where you could really, there's just much more of a transformational and a realness to it. So if you really connect with Sasha's message, he's a very reachable guy. Just shoot a message, or if you want to meet someone, you could do it. And if you really connect with Sasha, don't waste his time if you're not super connecting with him, and don't just try to suck his value. But he's such an amazing dude, and if you could find a way to hang out with him, that could be a really awesome experience for you. So.
Thanks, buddy. Just want to kiss you on the face. So we literally just met a couple of days ago and connected. So we're about to film some stuff in the next couple of days. So don't be surprised to see us, in video form. And yeah, let the guys know. What's your channel name?
It's youtube.com/GoldJacketLuke.
Okay, so GoldJacketLuke, really simple, and I'll stick a link up underneath this to his channel or to his latest video, whatever, so you guys can find it really easily.
Thanks.
And so check out his stuff. And yeah, it's been a real pleasure. And what else can I tell you? It's all love. I love you guys. And yeah, I'm in the States, like I said. So feel free to check my website. I'll be doing a couple of talks around. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a fucking blast, and we'll see you guys on the next podcast. I look forward to your comments. Please leave comments. We'd love to hear what you're talking about. Any questions, I'll be on there chatting to folks. And we'll do it all again soon.
Thank you so much, Sasha. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Peace out.
Peace.